guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to watch the video. Really appreciate that. And guys, today we're going to talk about the flip-flop that Bass made today. Actually, they just announced it regarding the no information rule for the Elite Series pros. They actually changed it a week ago, flip-flopped on it today. We're going to talk about that in today's video because I think it just demonstrates the chaos that the organization is in right now. And I'm going to do some commentary on that in today's video. Also, guys, just a quick invitation out there. Just like to invite everybody, if you hadn't had a chance, to please check out my tackle warehouse link that I have in the description. If you guys are needing some tackle, you need to purchase some tackle, if you use and bookmark my tackle warehouse link in the description of each video, that's a good way to support the channel if you guys are inclined to do so. So I wanted to extend a big thank you from me and my family for everybody that's been helping out like that. Really appreciate that. Okay, if you didn't see it, guys, you'll probably be seeing it over the next couple of days. When Bassmaster announced the rule changes, that disappointed everybody last week with their decision not to ban spotlighting for bass, they also instituted a rule that they extended the off-limits period where Elite Series anglers can now get information up until January 1st. And then when that came out, everybody knew it was going to happen. There was a huge outrage amongst the pros. This, talking about how much BS this was, and I'm talking it blew up. Everybody was talking about it on social media. The pros were talking about it. They were just disgusted by that decision. So Bass caved under the pressure, and they reversed the rule. And now, I think beginning like either now or just in another week or so, the Elite Series pros are not allowed to get any information on the tournaments that they're going to have for the 2025 season. So let's comment on this a little bit. Guys, this is another example of the people that are making the decisions at Bassmaster have no business being there. They are, we don't need, but Bassmaster does not need to have magazine editors and television show commentators on their tech committee or decision-making processes on this type of a thing out there, because they don't fish. They don't know what it's like to be professional anglers. They don't know everything that it takes and entails to be a professional bass angler, and they're unqualified for doing it. That would be like me needing a cavity worked on by my dentist, and I call up my plumber to have him work on it. It's the same thing. Here's the way that they fix that. This is the only way that you can. When Bassmaster, they would be wise to do this. If they would, all the committees that they have, the tech committee, the tournament rules committee, whatever it is, something where they've got some type of a group on there that people vote against it. The only people that need to be on the committees that have anything to do with the tournaments are veteran tournament anglers. It should be a requirement that in order for you to be on the tech committee or the rules committee or whatever committee out there, you have to be a Bassmaster Classic Pro, you have to be a Bassmaster Pro that is qualified for at least 5 Bassmaster Classics prior to Live Scope being introduced. So those are the people out there that understand the reality of this world. They're the adults in the room that have paid their dues and been there. They are the ones that should be in the process and the position to make these decisions, like we saw today, because if this rule change never would have been implemented if you had those people that were making those decisions, but they weren't. So it all goes back to the other decision too. It's like, okay, they flipped on this and they changed it back to the way it was. They can do the same thing on the forward-facing sonar debacle decision they made last week. Everybody knows that this decision on forward-facing sonar that Bassmaster made was made by this tech committee that had a bunch of people on there that weren't pro fishermen. There was one pro fisherman on it, as far as I'm aware of. A bunch of guys on there that had alternative agendas, and they allowed spotlighting to continue on the tournaments for 2025 season. So again, if you would have had, the tech committee made up of 10 Bassmaster pros out there, all of them, they either had to qualify for 5 Bassmaster Classics or win over $1 million prior to the cheater box spotlighting era, and have them make those decisions, the stock in Bassmaster would be through the roof. Here's what Bassmaster doesn't understand, guys. I don't want to get off on left field on this, spotlighting deal, but the amount of respect and appreciation and gratitude and support that Bassmaster would have gotten from the entire fishing community, the fishing industry, with the exception of electronic companies, the fans, the viewers, everyone out there, the amount of respect that they would have gained for banning spotlighting would have went through the roof. Their stock would have went through the roof. Their viewership would have went through the roof. Their ability to court other sponsors would have went through the roof. Their memberships would start exploding. But again, you had people that made those decisions that don't know what they're doing. They're just in positions up there that they don't fish. They're not professional anglers. Again, you know, there's a lack of transparency there, and they can't whitewash it by saying, you know, it didn't have anything to do with money, because everybody knows that's a crock. Everybody does. So from that standpoint, God, I'm just like, sort of like everybody else on this deal. We're just like, you know, get your act together, man. You guys, Bassmaster should be, was and always has been the leader in the sport. They set the bar. Ever since I've been fishing professionally, ever since I've been a little kid, Bassmaster has set the bar. The Bassmaster Classic, everything around that, and it has just went off the rails the last 3 or 4 years. And I think a lot of it is because of this poor, you know, decision-making process that you have from the people in the positions of power there, and a management at Bassmaster that really does not have a grasp of the situation here. They live in an information silo. They live in a bubble, and they don't listen to the real world and the real bass anglers out there. They got, you know, all these, you know, pro forward-facing sonar fanatics that are connected to an umbilical cord to a video box. They're the ones that have their ear, and it's hurting them in the long run big time right now, and it will continue to do so. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out there with you guys. Give me your opinions on what's going on there. What do you guys think? I mean, do you think Bassmaster's doing the right thing? Do you think that, you know, there needs to be complete, you know, house cleaning over there on the upper levels? I'd be curious to know what you guys think as, you know, the viewers of this channel and the viewers of Bassmaster, because it benefits everybody, guys, to have a strong, vibrant Bassmaster. It really does. Bassmaster is the foundation and it's the backbone of this sport. It always has been. And we rely on them to make the right decisions. We rely on them to make critical thinking decisions. And we have not seen that. We have not seen that over the past 2 or 3 years. It's obvious with all the outrage and turmoil and division and strife that, you know, has been brought about simply because of their decisions. Just imagine for 1 second, guys. Let's imagine that, like I said, 3 years ago, Bassmaster came out and they said, okay, guys, we thought about this. Forward-facing sonar is not the direction this sport needs to go in. There's the negatives far outweigh the positives, so we're banning forward-facing sonar in all of our tournaments, just like they did with the Alabama rig. Can you imagine how much of an awesome, peaceful, just vibrant organization that they would have right now? How we could go out and we could watch the Bassmaster television show, and they would have a split screen. They'd have on a split screen, they'd have Greg Hackney flipping a big jig in one screen. They'd have Chris Daldane throwing a big glide bait in another scene. You know, they'd have you know, another angler throwing a square bill crankbait in another scene, and, you know, some other guy throwing a topwater. They wouldn't have 4 guys with flat brim hats scaring down at a video screen out in the middle of the lake. So from that standpoint, what makes for better TV? I think it's pretty obvious on that. So anyway, guys, let me know what y'all think. We'll talk later.